if you are looking for some support for current affairs, if you are a fresher, you are a working professional, you are a repeater, but you want some support for current affairs, then I have a program for you. I have given the brochure and also the announcement video link in the description. You can watch if you are interested. Hello all, welcome back to Current Affairs Hitlist series. I'm Guna Mathivanan from Offices IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about strategic crude oil reserves. See, a country like India where we depend more than 80% on imported fossil fuels. So in the international level, when there is some sort of crisis, let's say for example Russia-Ukraine war, this war was creating crisis which was affecting the supply chains. The fossil fuel supplies were impacted. So to prevent from the external shocks, what country like India, an energy dependent, import dependent country like India, what it should do is it should protect its oil reserves. Some excess of oils has to be purchased and it should be stored to prevent any kind of disruptions in the oil supplies. Because when the oil supplies are disrupted, then the oil price will increase. When oil price increases, the economic consequences in the country, right? Immediately inflation will rise, production process will be affected, nation's income will also be affected, rupee will start depreciating because you will import higher valued oil. So many complications are there. So every country, it's better to stock excess fuel. That is the idea of strategic crude oil reserves. So India also decided to set up its strategic reserves. So in 2019-20, in the phase 1, so we were choosing Mangalore, Visakhapatnam, Padur as a part of the phase 1 SPR, that is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve Project. So under the Strategic Petroleum Reserve Project, we have selected places and we have selected the underground rock cavities, underground rock caverns or rock cavities. So these underground rock cavities are the excellent place to store the oil, safely to store the oil. These underground rock cavities are going to be very much useful. So India identified locations in Mangalore, Visakhapatnam and Padur in phase 1 of the program, where India decided to store 5.3 million metric tons of crude oil in these 3 locations. So under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, a special purpose vehicle was created, Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which will be a special purpose vehicle. This special purpose vehicle will be maintaining the strategic petroleum reserves in India. As a part of phase 1, we decided to develop a reserve of 5.33 million metric tons. With that reserve, we can manage 9.5 days of our crude oil requirement. But if you take the international recommendation, a country should have a reserve for minimum 90 days. A country should have a reserve for minimum 90 days. But however, this phase 1 program has a reserve ability to store close to 9.5 days only. So we came with another phase 2 program. So government, in principle, they decided to come up with another program, that is in phase 2 in Chandigarh in Odisha and Padur. In phase 2, government wanted to increase the strategic petroleum reserve. So another 6.5 million metric tons of oil reserves can be stored in these 2 locations, and 6.5 million metric tons will provide us 12 days service. So already phase 1 will provide us 9.5 days, phase 2 will provide 12 days. Apart from that, the oil marketing companies, Hindustan Petroleum, Bharat Petroleum, Indian Oil, these oil marketing companies, they have stored the oil reserve for close to 64.5 days. For close to 64.5 days. So for roughly 84 to 80, I think 84 or 86 days, roughly for these many days, we have petroleum reserve, right? So this phase 1 is adding 9.5, phase 2 is adding 12 days of reserve. Oil marketing companies, they have for around 64 days, right? So for around almost 86 days, I guess, we have crude oil reserve. So why it was in news? India and Saudi Arabia have signed an MOU for cooperating in the field of strategic petroleum reserves. That's why it was in news.